Hello, my name is Wendy with ColourOutsideTheLines.ca, and I'm super excited for you to be here with me today. Now, before we get talking about who I am, what I do, what you get from my classes, etc., we're going to paint our background. So I'm going to grab my large square brush. When I say large, sometimes that large is a different size for you, but I'm grabbing this square brush. It's about a 3/4 inch of a brush, and I'm going to start off with white and black, or sorry, no, white and blue. And I'm going to make kind of crisscrossed patterns all the way through. I don't want it to be one direction. I want all this crisscross happening. So make your paintbrush paint in all different directions. This gives your painting a little bit of character, and I'm basically grabbing white and blue in here. Now, it might start blending if we over blend it, but that's okay. We're getting our first step in. Okay, so while we're painting this background, I started Color Outside the Lines in 2020, and it all started when we all know what happened in 2020, right? So it all started because of COVID and lockdowns. So it was a way for me to just hang out with my friends, and we just basically went on Zoom and did hobbies together, mine being painting and so forth. And then it eventually turned into that my friends' kids would log in and do classes with me. Well, it's not at this point, it's not really classes. They were just doing hobbies together. Fast forward, that's when did lockdown happen? March, right? And by June, I got a text message from my friend saying, hey, there's a homeschool group looking for an art teacher. Are you interested? And boy, was I ever interested. Oh my goodness gracious. So interested. I never thought I could do this. I was actually a little nervous. I didn't know where to start. So I created my first website. And from there, it turned into Color Outside the Lines. And I started expanding, just kind of experimenting and really seeing what it is that I could do. So I went from teaching kids, and then I would teach monthly classes with adults and so forth. And now I do all different things. I paint, obviously, because that's what we do. And I'm done commissioned pieces, but mostly my favorite thing is teaching. Just gonna grab that little bit on the bottom there. Don't worry too much here on the bottom. In fact, I'm gonna wipe any of this excess paint because we're gonna be painting over this anyways. So I just want some of this excess paint. So if you're doing what I'm doing, any excess paint, I'm gonna just take and squeeze it onto my palette. And I'm just gonna take any of that off. Okay, so while that's drying, I'll wash my big brush. We're going to talk a little bit about, now that we know how I started and what I do. I teach classes to adults, I teach classes to kids, I do commissioned pieces, and I'm working towards many other things. Well, because I'm an artist, I have to create, I have to try different things. So what is it that you can get from this class? Well, not just the step-by-step. Yes, we do cover some fundamentals of like shape, color, value, lines and space and so forth. But those are important when you're really studying art as a whole. But what's really important is building confidence, building your creativity. And that's where it is that I really like to hone in and focus in. So when you join my class and I'm painting this painting here, and you're like, oh, I forgot to buy blue. I can't do this painting. Turn it off. No, grab a different color. Try purple, try pink, try yellow, try orange. And usually when you paint with me, you will know what we're painting. So today we're actually painting a snowflake because it's been snowing out, big snowstorms. So we're painting a snowflake, and we've got this little kitty cat nose looking up at the snowflake. That's what we're doing. So that's why I got this blue background. But hey, if you did orange, maybe it's like a sunset background. Or if you did green, maybe you're out in the forest and instead of a snowflake, you'll put a leaf. Creativity. So following my classes step by step gives you the guided instruction you need to help you think outside the box. So I even had some that's like, I don't want to do a cat when I did this, and they did a raccoon. Whatever, you do you, right? So how does that build confidence? And in fact, it actually relieves anxiety, but how? When we're younger, we're praised for drawing stickmen. When we're younger, we're praised for drawing great big pictures of like not really well colored. They're like, you might think they're not well colored, but you know what? We should be praising the kids because of their creativity, because they're trying to get what's in their mind on the paper. But as we get older, we become more judgmental. We come say, oh, it's not correct. It's not the way it should be. But really, does it have to be the way it should be, especially when it comes to art? So that's why a lot of art pieces today, you might think are like, that was so easy. Even I could do it. Well, try doing it. Um, those pieces sell for money because people see something creative. And I know there's some really weird stuff like taped banana to the wall, or this one lady, oh my goodness, I absolutely love her art. It's so simple but unique. She takes a cleaning mop, dips it in paint, and draws circles with it. That's it. And she sells them. People pay a lot of money for them. It's crazy. But I'm not here to make you the next artist. I'm not here to make you the next making the next big dollar. What I'm here is to help you enjoy your art. I'm here to help your kids just find some relaxing. Now, do you have a hobby? Most of us do. Whether it's reading, watching TV, or whether it's cooking. Maybe you collect something. Maybe you like to put things together like Lego or Connects, or maybe you enjoy doing makeup, or you enjoy learning how to do braiding and hair, or sewing, quilting. Maybe you like going out in nature and taking pictures. Maybe you enjoy shopping. Whatever your hobby is, there's so many things you can do. Why do you like these things? One, maybe they really get your mind going. You really get that critical thinking happening. Maybe you like it because it actually makes you feel like yourself. Mostly what I really like about hobbies is that it becomes a stress reliever. True hobbies. Some hobbies I think I would become really stressed, but that's me. But for me, painting has become a stress reliever because it allows me to really focus in time in my paintings. And so that's why I love teaching it, because I see kids make progress. Okay, I'm gonna start sanding this because it's taking a while to dry. That's what happens when you have a thick amount of paint. So, little story, when I started painting, I had this one young friend. He was in my class starting around September 2020, October 2020. And let's just say he hated art, hated them. His mom was like, nope, you're going to join the art though, because basically she wanted him out of his hair. Because, 2020 was a hard year for all of us, right? You had your kids at home with you. You couldn't get anything done. They're so like you were distracted. So it was nice to get your kids to do things. So that's what she did. She got him into my art classes. And I'm so glad he did. He's such a good kid. Anyways, he went off to high school this past September. Oh my goodness, I'm losing track of time. I think we all are, right? Anyways, this past while, he went back to high school and it was his very last art class with me. I think it was in the summertime. And he's basically, before we left, hung up our Zoom call. He says, Miss Wendy, I need to tell you, when I started learning art step by step with you, I hated it. I didn't think I was very good. I hated how it made me feel. I didn't feel good enough. But I appreciated, I might start crying, guys. I appreciated how no matter how bad a painting looked, you always found something positive to say about the painting. And that really got me thinking, because how often do we find something bad about things and how often do we find something good about things? And So that really got me like, I'm really like touched. I'm happy. I was able to really help this person, this young person, help mold his mind and to be able to think he can do more. But anyways, he continues to say, now I find myself painting whenever I need to relieve stress. I find myself painting when I can't seem to process my thinking. And you know what? If he never took my class, he might have found a different hobby to do it. But I'm so proud of him. I'm so proud that I was able to help him. So it just makes me so happy that arts can do that. And it's important. So even if you think you're not good, because I hear all the time, I can't even draw a stick line or a straight line. Oh my God, it's so cute. I was teaching a tea party, so locally here I'm in Canada, by the way. I was teaching at a tea party, and one of the older ladies, she's so cute. I can't even draw a stick line. I'm like, don't worry, don't worry. We're just gonna have fun. So I like to describe my shapes like blobs. Okay, guys, we're gonna make a big blob. We're gonna make a half circle. You know what? Her painting, she was proud of it because it was the first time painting. You can't compare yourself to others. You compare yourself to the first time you started painting. So she had nothing to compare with. So we were so proud of her. I get a card in the mail from her about a month or two later, basically saying she never thought she could do it. So she didn't until she came to my class. And now she's like on YouTube, she's painting all the time, and she just enjoys it. She couldn't believe she can do it. So if you've never tried it, try it. But most importantly, don't compare yourself to others. Okay, so I'm gonna put this fan down, which is just a cardboard canvas. And we're going to talk a little bit about supplies because you might be saying, okay, that's great, Wendy, but what about supplies? Art supplies are expensive. You're telling me, I know, art supplies can be very expensive. So I'm going to be making a white cat. So I'm going to come in here. I know I could have probably just left it white, but that's okay. So I'm making a white mount. So if you want to pick an orange cat, go ahead, throw some orange in here. If you want to pick a brown cat, a black cat, whatever. I actually might turn mine into a gray, patchy black and white cat. Anyways, whatever it is that makes you happy, because we're doing a kitty cat. And we're just gonna make this basic white snow hill. And I think I'm gonna need a second coat of white, but you know what? I think I really, no, I'm gonna keep it white for now. So this doesn't look like a cat yet. So I'm gonna come in here, I'm gonna squeeze off the paint. Now my blue wasn't 100% dry, but that's okay. Now, when it comes to supplies, always use a coupon, always. So I just showed you, this is a canvas board. Okay, canvas boards, they are great for like hanging up and stuff, but they also start taking up a lot of space, especially when you're down to like the 30th class. So I started using these for classes. And then I went to canvas paper, actually. I want to show this painting, so I like it better. This is my turtle. Here we go. So this is my St. Vincent Miro Tobago case turtle. So this is paper, but it's got like texture. See, can we see that? Maybe over here we can see the better lighting. Anyways, it's got texture in there like a canvas, right? It's really cool. And they work really good. The paper doesn't buckle. It's really nice. Now I started using what I call, it's basically canvas, but it's not in a frame. And let's see, I have a whole bunch here somewhere. I can find it. No, I can't find it. Wait. There we go. Okay, we found it. So this is the canvas. So you can see like there's actual fibers in here. It it's like fabric. Here we go. So these are some of the things that I've purchased, and I find because they're thinner, they store better, they work nice. You just throw them in a frame, it's good to go. Now, they're not that expensive. You can get them on Amazon, you can get it from Michael's or your local art store. Find where the university students shop, and it's usually the cheapest for art supplies. Next, you only really need 3 brushes. Okay, so that one's wet, so I'm not going to use that. Now, I use these 3 brushes. So a nice big square flat one, little itty bitty detail brush, and then this round brush. The round brush is great, especially when it has like a little point. It's good for like getting on like bigger details. So that's all you need is these 3 brushes and then your paint. Now you're like, oh, but paint can be expensive. I know. We've got, here we go. There we go. We got Deco Art. We've got the here you go. Craft Smart. These are just craft acrylic. The only thing I warn is stay away from anything with tempera paint, which a lot of times the dollar store has. I know the dollar store also has this Deco Art Crafts acrylic. So they're all super cheap. So don't spend $1 million, especially if you're not sure if you're going to love it. It might take you a couple months before you're like, yeah, I love this. It might take your kid a few months before they're like, oh, I know I want to go. You never know, but it's great to try. So those are just supplies. Okay, so now I'm gonna grab my round brush and I'm gonna continue with my white. And we are going to kind of add little bits of tufts. So notice here, I'm just pulling out almost like his fur. Okay, just making the edging a little bit more stickled as opposed to smooth. So here we go. Let's just, and I'm not being exact. I'm not worried about being precise. There we go. Lots of, one side might look better than the other, depends. Right, so got lots of good tufts in there. Nice. Now I think I'm gonna put another layer of white and then we'll start with our snowflake while this dries. There we go. See, get a good layer of white. It needs more paint though, but get rid of that paint. All right, so we talked about origin story, we talked about building confidence, we talked about supplies, but we haven't, like, we touched on comparison. Comparison is the robber of joy. Okay, so don't compare yourself to others. However, it's okay to compare yourself to yourself. Now, how many times have you painted, if you're painting with me, how many times have you painted this painting? Right? How many times? Never. So you have no comparison to it, right? None whatsoever. So this will be your first painting. So no matter what you do, you make a mistake, whatever, that's fine. Make your mistakes. Get messy, right? If you ever watched a Magic School Bus, what did Miss Frizzle say? Take chances, get messy, make mistakes. That's what we have to do in art too, not just in testing theories in science. And science is important too. So let's go here. I'm gonna grab my itty bitty brush, and we're just gonna paint a few snowflakes. So first thing with snowflakes I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna make a straight line. Kind of crossed over like that. And we're gonna do 6 points. So let's try to make a narrow X. Don't worry if it doesn't, it's not perfect. And then we're gonna cross in one more. Here we go, there's our first snowflake. Let's make another one. Let's, nice big one. Maybe this one will be an 8 point. So make your plus sign. Now let's make it a little different. Let's make this really long. in comparison. Don't worry, if your lines aren't straight, that's okay. Remember I said some of us think we can't even draw a straight line. Straight lines can be hard, especially in paint. Okay, so here's another story I often like to tell during classes. How many of us know who Rembrandt, Van Gogh, Monet, Picasso? Do many of us know who they are, right? I'm just gonna do 6 point, and I'm gonna do another 6 point. So my goal is about 2 big snowflakes and 3 itty bitty ones. And I'm gonna make one right here. Okay, now, how many of us are familiar with Van Gogh's sunflowers? They're pretty popular. Some of us may like them, some of us may not. Up to you. Now, if I were to ask Picasso to paint sunflowers, maybe they looked a little abstract. Would you tell Picasso, you did it wrong? Or would you ask Rembrandt, paint a sunflower? Oh, Van Gogh, Rembrandt's sunflowers are prettier. You did it wrong. No, we wouldn't say that because you're not comparing them to each other. You're comparing them to their previous works. So they would be different. So don't compare yourself because it will rob your joy. Next, though, we start to think, actually, let's get into the next step here. So I'm going to go in here and let's make some darts. I'm going to come in here, make some darts. And I'm going to put a little circle on the end of this. Ooh, I like that. And I'm going to try this side. There we go. And this side. So maybe your snowflakes will look a little different from mine, but that's okay. Maybe you have this big idea. Kind of cool, right? Now, I'm going to connect these. Because I can, because why not, right? Oh, I like it. Okay. Next, kind of confidence building thing that I really appreciate about, for example, Van Gogh's. I like to talk about Van Gogh. Van Gogh struggled with mental health, and some of us may too. Mental health's not easy to deal with. Some of us need to take medication. Some of us need to talk to somebody. Some of us may not know how or where to start. Neither did Van Gogh. Now, Van Gogh kept painting. How many paintings did Van Gogh sell in his life? None. Nothing. In fact, one of his most famous works, Starry Night, was painted when he was in the hospital. He looked out in the sky and he saw the stars, and they spoke to him. And I don't mean literally, Van Gogh, I'm talking to you. No, like they spoke to his heart. So that really helps him to kind of see, like, it's where he found his joy. Even though he was not a happy person, he was very depressed. So if you are struggling, the arts or a hobby that you enjoy can actually help. So whether it's the arts, painting, or even if it's cooking or if it's reading, find joy in them. So go. Still painting these snowflakes. Now, if you think, well, if I go into art, I'm gonna have to start selling it. I need a business. I don't want my kid to be an artist. They don't have to be. Use the arts to calm your hearts. Haha. All right. So that's all I really have to say. Now, I really want to say when you join my classes, I will be having classes starting February at 4 p.m. for this public group. I can open private groups. I do have a couple private um, groups that I do art classes for. So if you also are part of a private Facebook group or a homeschool group that you're like, hey, our kids want to do art classes, just our group, we can arrange that as well. I do keep my prices relatively low because I do realize that life's hard. Now, my low to your low might be a little different, but just remember, this is the arts. This is something that's going to help us. So, um, yeah, let's just finish this painting. You can join my class at ColourOutsideTheLines.ca. Actually, go there right now. Grab your phone, go there right now. And as soon as you get there, you'll see there's a pop-up to join a mailing list. This mailing list, I'll mail you once a month with the latest information. Okay. And the latest information just kind of lets you know what kind of classes, whether adult, student, etc. So you're welcome to just follow that. And I only mail you once a month unless it's something very, very important. Let's see here. One last snowflake. Honestly, I find snowflakes tedious, but relaxing. I don't know. I hope you found them relaxing too. But we're gonna do our kitty cat next. We'll do it quickly. There we go. So I got my snowflakes all sorted out. Now I'm not done with my white. I'm still gonna keep my white up. And I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna do these big lines. Thin, but long. There we go. Okay, so there we go. We got our kitty cat all started out here. Now, grab your red, okay, or whatever color you want to make its nose. So I'm going to just make a cute little pink nose, and then I'm going to grab a tiny dot of black as well. Not because this is just going to be a white cat, but the black will add a little bit of detail. Just a tiny dot. Okay, mixing white and red together makes pink. And that's the other thing. The colors you only need are really yellow, blue, red, black, and white. And you can mix the colors. But if you're thinking, oh man, I'd rather just get purple, green, orange, and brown as well, that's fine too. Okay, so to get his nose, we're going to put a little bit of a square on here. Paint it down. Okay. And I'm going to put a tiny little triangle on top. Okay, that's all you need for the nose. Cute, right? Super easy. Now I'm going to take that tiny little black, and I'm still using my tiny little brush. Okay, and we're going to make a backwards C and a forward C. And just make a little line down the middle. We're going to make the line come down quite far. And then make that line a little bit longer, and let's hook them into J's facing frontwards and backwards. And there's a kitty cat. Cute, right? Super easy kitty cat painting. And don't forget to sign your name There we go. So thank you so much for joining me today. I hope I've encouraged you